At Lifehack Coaching, we help women over 35 to balance hormones naturally, boost metabolism, and lose weight sustainably. Everyone, I've got Laura here with me today, and Laura has been my client for a while now. She originally has done 16 weeks, and now we just keep going because Laura achieved her weight goal, but now we have a new goal, is to get a little bit lower and also learn how to maintain that weight, right?
Yeah.
So welcome, Laura, and thank you so much for your time today and for jumping on my podcast and sharing your experience with everyone.
Oh, thank you, Anastasia. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being my coach.
That's all good. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did we end up here?
Well, I'm 47. I'm a teacher and mother of two. I'm a migrant. You can tell by my accent. So for many years, it is still us alone in the world. But like with not having family support and stuff. So I think for me, it was last year towards the end of the year of a very difficult year. Looking back through, my life and the state of my life and my physical health. And I realized that I needed to do something to look after myself. And I really needed to start on my body. I'm perimenopausal on the last year because of stress and many curveballs in my life. I put on a lot of weight. And I've been doing a bit of research, what to do. I also had a lot of pain in my hip. That was kind of a concern. I even felt sore laying down in bed on the mattress. And when I traveled back home, I asked my mom, when did she start taking medication for arthritis? Because she suffers from arthritis. For her arthritis, you say, at the age of 50. Now I'm 3 years to 50. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to start taking all this. If there is anything I can do to delay the medication, I'll do it. And I wanted to lose weight. And there was also this, brain fog. And I was thinking, so I was going, am I getting diabetic? All of these things. So something needed to change. And I've done my research. I knew I wouldn't have been able to do it through an app or through just reading a book and going intermittent fasting, whatever, So I really needed a human being to help me. And I bumped into you. And we met, I think we met before on Zoom. We met before I went back home.
Yeah, before Christmas.
Yes, and that was very good because that gave me time to, okay, this is the information, this is what I want to do, to go back home and, have this corridor with my mom. And, I think that gave me more impetus, encouraged me. So then when I came back, it was like, okay, the day after I landed, it was like, bang, what do we need to do?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
It was very motivated. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So when you first came to me, what was your goal?
I think to lose weight because I was very overweight. Yeah, I think it was just that. And then I think I also liked the fact that your approach was holistic because I had this understanding that, mind and body are in a symbiotic relationship. So it wasn't just, I didn't want to do something just about the calories. I was very unfit. I had never in my life set foot in a gym. So I remember the first few weeks, I said, well, Lara, what are you going to do? Need to do physical exercise. I was like, well, okay, we wing it way out. And you were very encouraging. And you gave me the explanation as per, with regards to my goal with my joint pain. Like, well, you need to do this, to prevent osteoporosis, you need to lift weights. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. And now I'm loving it. It was a journey. I wasn't 100% there signing up at the gym on the first day.
I remember that. I was thinking, that's fine. Like a lot of clients that I have, they don't go to the gym at all. And I always say, look, gym is for your mental health, but it also, especially for females, is for prevention of osteoporosis.
Yeah.
So you don't have to lift heavy. You don't have to go crazy 5, 6, 7 days a week. Like 2, 3 times a week is enough. Any resistance training is good. You can do weights if you want. You can do machines if you want. You can do reformer Pilates is great as well. As long as you're working your muscles and there's some sort of resistance, that's what you want for prevention osteoporosis. But also, it's endorphins that gets released when you work out. So that's quite important. That's why I say it's for mental health, especially for people who suffer the depression or anxiety. It uplifts your mood. It makes you feel better.
Yes.
Even if you don't feel like going to work out at the start, you're going to feel so much better afterwards. So I personally look at workouts as, it's like my vitamins. I have to work out, do something. It's a walk.
But I think that's part of this holistic approach and this understanding of how your physical health, so looking after your physical body can help look after your mind. And soul, if you want to, and also if you believe in that sort of thing. It was a beautiful thing to have someone coaching me without being, you haven't been judgmental, but you were very encouraging and, giving me the right amount of information that I needed to hear in order for me to take my action steps. And that has been wonderful. Same with the three priorities for the day.
Yeah.
You set myself to think. I think that was also super helpful because it helped me understand the impact stress was having in my physical health. The lack of joy that I had in my life, because it was all like, what do I need to do? What needs doing? Like, I'm a list person, so, this needs to go on the list. And whereas having the three priorities is more like looking at it like a pie, okay, or like your plate, okay, where are your carbs? How much you're going to dedicate of your day to your happiness, like filling your cup or joyful moments, how much to your physical health and how much to impact, you call it, like the thing, work or, the things I need doing. So that was as well very helpful to have that understanding, and it's like looking at yourself in a mirror.
Yeah.
So I think all of those things together, that's what helped me in my journey.
Yeah, it's a reflection. It's important. It's important because if your overall health is not where you want it to be and you're trying to lose weight, then it's like hitting your head against the wall, trying to fight the fight that you're not going to win because your body is not cooperating, because there's lots of issues that might be there. There might be, hormonal imbalances caused by stress or caused by perimenopause or caused by being tired. There's lots of different reasons. And I think instead of trying to plaster things and go, let's just do calorie deficit or whatever, we need to address the other issues before we even look into the weight loss itself. Because going into calorie deficit, yes, it creates the deficit that you need for weight loss, but sometimes it's not everything. And if the other things are not functioning properly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how low you're going to go. All it's going to do is cause more stress on your body, which can actually backfire. So it's really important to look at the whole holistic well-being.
Yeah. And it's like, this concept of of health as in wellness, made of all these parts. So,
Yes, definitely. So how many kilos have you lost so far?
I think 15 or 16 kilos so far.
It's amazing. Well done. It's, that's a lot.
It's a lot, and people notice it, like, great. But also this feeling that it was phenomenal, I think it took me 2 weeks for the pain in the hips to disappear completely. Like, that was such a good encouragement.
I remember that.
It was like, wow, you read about this anti-inflammatory diet and then you go for it and it does make a huge difference. So I think I would stay like this forevermore because the payoff is really good.
Yeah.
Not only losing the weight and, of course, if you do physical exercise, but, for me to have that pain gone, that was a huge, huge improvement and very encouraging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I remember you messaging me saying that your pain in your hips gone. I was like, fantastic. This is better than hearing I've lost a kilo.
I know.
This is actually means that inflammation is starting to come down, which was great. Did you ever felt like you deprived of food while you... or were you still in the program while you're doing it?
Well, I think for me the hardest thing, not drinking alcohol has never been an issue. I'm not, keen on alcohol, fizzy drinks, or maybe kombucha, but I can live without. It's not for me because I'm a baker. I love baking. So for me, it was like, oh, no more muffins, no more cakes. That's the thing. But I think I soon moved on to replace that foodie side of me with these other recipes that are more nutritious and this awareness of, well, what am I putting into my body and what it does to my body. So as much as, of course, eating chocolate fudge cake is lovely, if I'm so happy I don't have that pain in my hips, like I keep, I can have a protein hot chocolate or I can make a chia seed pudding with chocolate without all the sugar and all the gluten and,
That's
or
right.
maybe it goes through, it's more like rather than trying a new cake recipe, I'll try a new curry recipe So I think I get my satisfaction, my foodie nurtured from those other recipes rather than, but that has been kind of a bit hard. I was surprised to realize I eat more. I was eating, one of the first things you told me, Laura, you're not eating enough. And to realize that maybe not eating enough or not eating nutritious enough food to sustain my well-being. So learning that and getting satisfaction from that was a good shift.
And you have been really creative with your, you've been having the protein hot chocolate, which you just heat up your protein shake and then your hot chocolate. I was like, I never thought of that in all my years.
So, yes. So I have protein coffee in the morning. And
protein coffee in the morning, that's right.
Protein coffee in the morning. And because that was the other thing. I thought, I don't want processed food, I don't want... So I was very happy with this change.
Yeah.
And I was a bit skeptical about the protein powder. And then I kind of figured, well, of all, we eat processed food. Flour is a processed food. That way, rice is processed the way we eat it, and, well, to a certain extent. So I thought, okay, if I can have this, I can allow myself this. And I noticed that it made a difference in my levels of energy to increase the protein intake, sense of satiation, is that the word? When you feel that you've eaten enough.
Yeah.
And also clothing that protein shake with the coffee in the morning, in a smoothie in the afternoon, or with a hot chocolate now that the weather is getting colder.
Yeah.
I put it in my overnight oats sometimes for breakfast. I mixed it in the overnight oats. And sometimes I make when I have my meetings that I finish the day late, I prepare myself chocolate chia seeds pudding, and I put protein shake there and then protein powder there. So, and then I have it with raspberries. So I have something chocolatey and sweet that is not fat, that is not sugary, that is not dairy because I use almond milk. So it's anti-inflammatory. It's great.
Yeah. It's definitely more motivating when you have a reason for making better choices. People don't tend to take an action or radical change when there's nothing, happening in their lives. For you, it's the, a risk of arthritis, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of, before you make your decision, you go, well, do I want to have sore hips or not?
Yes.
And then you kind of making decision. And I know even with myself now, what I know about my health and the risks that I have as I'm getting older, I'm starting to make even more conscious decisions based on, do I want to be in the risk category or not in the future?
Yeah.
We're getting to that stage of life where you're like, well, I can't get away with anything anymore. And if I want to live long life and being active and enjoy my, retirement, I actually need to take care of my health now, like making sure I can actually be properly functionable person.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Laura, tell me, what one advice would you give to someone who is wanting to lose weight, wanting to reduce their perimenopausal symptoms, wanting to feel better, but just don't know what step to take?
I think it is, for me, the mind opener was, it is true. All these things that you're listening, Mel Robbins podcast, that you read, who is the other one, Michael Mosley, all these people, it does, what you put into your body has a huge impact into your physical and mental health. And to not be scared of trying it because it's worth it. Like, think of, you could be taking lots of medication, you could be denying yourself a pleasure of going for a walk in nature or, I don't know, climbing Tongari or doing these sort of things because your body is not up to it. And if there is something that we can do to help ourselves, our bodies, and ultimately ourselves, it's well worth the try.
Yeah.
What I would say. And also, I mean, for me, it has been crucial to find a coach, like to find a real person that can help you. That made a big difference.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Laura, for spending some time with me this morning.
Thank you.
I'm sure our listeners would be very interested and find it beneficial to listen to our conversation and
I hope
your experience.
That they dare to take the plunge.
If you have any questions about this podcast or about hormones, weight loss, or just healthier lifestyle, please go to our website at lifehackcoaching.co.nz or feel free to email me directly, Anastasia@lifehackcoaching.co.nz.